All right, here he is, the Pool Fanatic. That's right, the Pool Fanatic, right here on News 96.5 WDBO. First, he was gone for a bunch of weeks, and I was gone for a week. I have not seen my good friend Tony Caruso except on Facebook for a long, long time. But how's your swimming pool? Huh? Is your pool all right? What's going on with that swimming pool? Is it green, or is it inviting blue, sparkly, beautiful, great place to be outside, and it's still not too late for you to get a pool this year? And then just think, you could be swimming year-round. Sounds good to me. It's a Pool Fanatic. Give us a call. Got problems with your automation? Got problems with your pump? 844-220-0965. 844-220-0965. Well, Tony, it wasn't a swimming pool, but it was a 138-mile-long lake with 1,300 miles of shoreline. That's more than the coast of California. And you know what they call it? The Lake of the Ozarks is now referred to. You have your East Coast, that's us. You have your West Coast. This is the Mid-Coast.
The Mid-Coast.
1,300 miles of coastline.
Were you being a very good
we have a good
lifeguard?
portion of it. The Newtons do.
The Newtons do, huh? So you were being a great lifeguard, is that correct?
I was watching all the children, and there were a bunch of them. They were swinging from ropes. They were out on the pontoon boat. They were in the paddle boat, and parents were right at their side every minute.
And they should.
That is watching the kids.
And who is watching the kids today, Rob? Because I tell you what, I know a young lady that was doing a very good job watching somebody else's child, but very nice day today. Nice and warm.
Perfect.
Good sun. Going to go into that after. We're in the rainy season now. We're going into the afternoon rain. Second week in June, I believe, is the kickoff of the rainy season. I see maybe a little bit of potential rain out there. I don't know if we're going to have any rain on the east side today, but maybe on the west side, you know, where that east and west sea breeze kind of collide together and get what they've got. A little bit of rain. Do not swim in your pool. If you hear thunder, let's get out. You know, lightning can strike from over 10 miles away. So if you hear that bolt of lightning, it's only short-lived. It's Florida.
Yeah, they're not going to be here long. They just pass through.
You know, all the rain that we were supposed to have last week, 100% chance of rain on Monday. Okay, who had a 100% chance of rain on Monday? Somewhere in the state of Florida, there was a 100% chance of rain on Monday. Agree?
True.
Okay, so most of the people in my industry decide to take the day off because it's a 100% chance of rain. Okay, everybody. Look at the radar. If there's no rain on the radar, it's going to be a while before it starts raining. On the east, I know from I-4 east, it didn't rain a drop on Monday. But come Monday evening, everything changed. So when they talk about a 100% chance of rain, yeah, you're going to get rain, but what part of the day? Now, Tuesday, it rained quite a bit. It rained, I think the projection, and this is what people call, well, it was supposed to rain all day. We're looking 5 to 8 inches of rain. Well, I got 2.5 inches of that rain. So did the other side of town get the other 2.5 inches? That's the 5 inches. Look, folks, do not anticipate how much it's going to rain. Tony Marino called me on Friday because Thursday actually. They're going to do the special on Friday on hurricane preparedness. And one of the questions he asked me was, how much water should a consumer drain out of their pool if a hurricane's going to come? You know what I told him? None.
Really?
Why? Why did I tell him none?
Well, I'm a little bit worried about that because I'm thinking of the rain that could come up and overflow the pool and maybe even get in the house.
Really? Why would it get... Wait a second here. The pool deck has to have positive drainage from the house, okay? So we're good with that?
That's true.
Okay, so we're good with that, right? And typically your house is above the center of the street. In most developments, newer, it's 18 inches or greater above the center line of the street, which means the road crowns and it drains off into a gutter system, which goes into a storm drain, which goes into an overflow retention. So here you go, Rob. The question was, we're anticipating 10 inches of rain in this hurricane. Should I drain 10 inches of water out of my pool? Okay. What if you don't get 10 inches of rain? That's question number one. Question number two, if you do drain 10 inches of water out of your pool, make sure you close off your skimmer line. Some of the older pools had the main drain attached to the skimmer, so if you drain 10 inches of water out of your pool, you couldn't run your pump at all, okay? Now you're worrying about 10 inches of rain, what's it going to do to my pool? It's going to dilute your pool by 10 inches, okay? I am not going to sit here and drain a drop of water out of my pool, not one drop of water, because I can't anticipate how much it's going to rain.
True.
It's going to rain, but how much am I going to get? There are times where I've personally got 7 inches of rain in a single day at my home. 7 inches. Okay, well, you've been there too, Rob. And you get some of these storms come through and they just drop. And guess what I didn't do? I didn't drain my pool. I waited till after it was raining, and then I knew exactly how much water to drain. But what did I do after I drained my pool? The first thing I did is I readjusted all my chemistry.
Sure.
Okay. Now I don't have to worry about that because my automated system does that for me. It'll make chlorine for me. It'll adjust pH for me. So go back to where I've got a salt system and a pH injection, Hayward, all Hayward equipment. So if it's going to rain and I still have power, I now have backup power on my house, so I don't have to worry about my system going down. It'll run through the hurricane no matter what happens because I have whole house generator. So as it's raining and being diluted, my pool's making chlorine. It's adjusting the pH and keeping where I need to be. I'm going to be fine. But if I did lose power, I still have, and I don't have city water, I'm on a well, I still have 22,000 gallons of water in my pool that I could still use for necessities as needed. And by the way, when the 3 hurricanes came through in 2004, I did not have a whole house generator then. My pool became a necessity for 21 days. I needed to use that. So one of the things that I did before, and I still had salt system and I still had variable speed and all that, but I didn't have backup power. What did I do before that? I went ahead and treated my entire swimming pool a little bit on the heavier side because I didn't know how long it was going to be down for. Didn't even anticipate losing power. But through all the dilution and rain, I prepared my pool to do that. I didn't have any issues. Okay, so what else do I do around the yard? Well, if it's going to have a hurricane come through, I'm going to go through and take everything that could potentially fly under 100 miles an hour or over 100 miles. It doesn't matter. I'm putting it away.
Smart.
So I'm a homeowner, pool owner. I've got accessories outside. When the 3 hurricanes came through, there was only one initially, okay, which was Charlie. I put everything away except one thing. I didn't take down a single paddle fan, and I did lose that paddle fan.
Oh, boy.
But it was recessed up in the ceiling, and I didn't think I'd lose it, but I did. So shame on me for doing that. I've replaced it. But by the way, I know now that it's 3 wires and a hook, and that paddle fan comes off, and I don't have that worry. But I put all of my furniture away. So some of the people that have the PVC style furniture, you don't have a place to put it, throw it in the pool.
Throw it in the pool.
Throw it in the pool. It's got stainless steel screws on it, so they shouldn't rust. Your fabric material is not going to deteriorate unless it's older material. But prepare your property for that. Anything that wind can pick up is a projectile, period.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let's go back to who was watching the children. As you've been back for a while, you saw on not only local news, but on national news, the 2-year-old that fell in the swimming pool.
Somehow that avoided
National news, buddy. It was picked up on CBS Evening News. It was picked up here on our local news where the young lady's name was Brianna Mosley. She was 18 years old. And this is a commercial swimming pool full of kids playing. Do some research. You'll see it.
Oh, boy.
There is at least, I counted at least 6, maybe 8 people in the pool. The video shows a little toddler walking along the fence inside the pool area, walks right in the pool, boom, right to the bottom. She sees it. She goes in, pulls the child out, CPR, paramedics on the way, saved the life of child, discharged from the hospital next day. Okay, so what I'm trying to get back to there is the girl learned CPR in high school. High school.
That's great.
Why aren't we all learning CPR? I thought
We
it was the other day.
should.
Why aren't we all learning CPR in high school? Now, it takes a couple hours to be certified in CPR, and it's good for 2 years. I'm CPR certified. Are you, Rob?
No.
Okay. Could you perform CPR if you had to?
Yeah, I've watched enough stuff.
Okay. But it's a little different on a toddler.
Oh, I would think.
And if you ever had to use the pads, that's a little bit different on a toddler as well. So, it's nice to be refreshed because, and I've been blessed not ever have to use it, but there'll be a time someday where I may need to use it. So become acclimated and take a CPR class, save a life, donate blood. There's ways you can give back to the community by knowing CPR, and two, maybe donating some blood to give back. We all could. We're always wanting things to do, or most people do. There's a good way you can give back again. So we also have the world's largest swim lesson coming up too. That's coming up on June.
That's still coming up.
June 24th, and we will definitely be breaking a record again. This is Guinness Book of World Records. This is a worldwide swim meet. I think in Central Florida we have 24 pools. Yeah, 24 pools in Central Florida. And there'll be someone from our association, attending each one of those events. Disney has 4 of them. 4 in the same day in the same pool. It's close to that one's close to the public. It's for employees and their guests only. But there are other pools, a lot of YMCA. So if you want to get involved on June 24th, go to the FloridaPoolPro.com. Look up the swim event coming up, and join in. Let's break a world record. Let's get a good 45 minutes from an hour in, some instructions as well. It's not going to teach you to swim. And, the blessing from the YMCA donation, the 4,000 children that got to swim lessons that were done, that's a great thing as well, is stay involved. Get your kids to swim. I cannot tell you how many people I talk to that tell me that their kids have swimming lessons. They can swim like fish. But one thing we don't do, Rob, we do not leave them unattended.
That's right.
We never swim alone. Never swim alone. So, safety is key. Your pool is a backyard environment that is there for a reason. Let's keep it the happiness and the happy place that it is by knowing where our children are. 407-282-4911. Please visit us at TC Water Features. Like us on Facebook, where amazing things can happen in your backyard.
And they certainly do. 844-220. That's 0965. That's 844-220-0965. Coming up with Debbie. She's waiting on the line, and you could have a free line too at 844-220-0965. We will be back. Hey, we're back. Yeah, during the break, we were just talking about hurricanes and that sort of thing. But here we are at 5:23. Your questions coming in at 844-220-0965. That's 844-220-0965. I'm going through the airport. One of those people asked me what my phone number was. I never say my own phone number, so I look up and I said 844-22.
0965, right?
I'm just like, oh no, I do this a lot. Debbie in Deltona, what's going on?
Hi, how are you?
Great.
I have a problem. I have a salt pool, and I had put 2 bags of shock because my the walls have algae on it.
Okay.
I thought by putting the 2 bags of shock in it, it would clear it up, but it didn't. I mean, I backwashed my pool. I cleaned the big filter out. I put the sanitizer in it, but
okay, got a question. Couple questions for you, Debbie. Do you know for sure that your salt system's working correctly?
Yeah.
You do know it's working correctly. You have the proper amount of salt in the pool and the proper amount.
Well, right now my salt is reading at 28.
Perfect.
My pool is like a 14 by 28.
Okay.
And the chlorinate is running at 50%.
Okay, so you have a percentage output. But the question is, do you know what your stabilizer level is? A stabilizer, cyanuric acid, or conditioner, they all mean the same thing. Do you know what your level is?
For stabilizing?
Yeah, it's called stabilizer, conditioner, or cyanuric acid.
I mean, I don't know. When I went to the store and they gave me a reading on my water, they told me I had to put on stabilizer in my pool.
Okay. Do you know how low your level? That's the question. How low was the level, and how many did you have algae in your pool before you put the stabilizer in the pool?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and how long has that been, Debbie?
I would say I did it like a week ago.
Okay. So you did stabilizer, but you still had algae in your pool, and since then you still have algae in your pool.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Are you on city water or are you on well?
City.
Okay. Couple questions for you. When you shocked your pool, your 14 by 28 pool's probably got 10 to 12,000 gallons of water in it. You put in 2 bags of granular shock?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. That's what they told me.
Did you, by any chance, make sure your water chemistry was in balance, i.e. less chlorine, because it's obviously not there? Did you make sure the pH in your water was in balance before you did the treatment?
Well, I brought the sample to there, and then they're the ones that told me that I would need, 2 bags of shock, and then I needed to put then the stabilizer in it.
Right. So, but
I did all that. I backwashed it and everything.
So what's happening in some of the retail locations is they really got to stay. You as a consumer need to know your own water chemistry as well, because I just did this a week or so ago where they take this water to the big box store and they say your water's in great shape and you still got algae. Well, they had algae because their stabilizer was too high and it locked the chlorine level up, so the chlorine was ineffective. Not in your case, Debbie, because you had low stabilizer. When you put the 2 bags of shock in your pool, did you leave the pump running, question 1? And 2, did you brush your pool immediately or a day or so later?
I put the stabilizer in, and then I just let it go.
Instead,
my stabilizer actual should have been 20 ppm. Mine was reading low.
No, on a salt system. The minimum salt requirement on a salt system is 50 ppm, parts per million, up to 80 parts per million. That's your level. I don't know which salt system you have, but if you had an Acarite, if you open the door panel, it'll tell you exactly where your stabilizer level needs to be. It'll actually tell you that your salt level needs to be between 27 and 3,400. It'll tell you your stabilizer needs to be between 50 and 80. If it's below 50, 40, or 30, your chlorine's ineffective. So go back to the question. Did you brush the pool walls to try to remove the algae?
Yeah.
And it's not moving.
I was brushing it.
It's not moving.
Nope.
It's not.
Nope.
Okay. Are you? I'm going to ask you. Are you sure it's algae? Is it green?
Yeah.
Is it light green, dark green?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's light green, and it's on the walls, like where I have like a place where you can sit. It's like in the deep end. It's on that part of the wall. I mean, it's just on the wall. Like even if I brush it, it's hard to get off of it.
How old is your how old is your okay, question. Do you have a nylon brush or a combo brush? Combo brush
nylon.
has okay. Well, nylon's not going to do anything for you, by the way. You should actually have what's called a combination brush. Has a little stainless steel in it. Something's a little bit more aggressive to take that algae off the wall. And what I would ask you to do if you've got time this weekend is take your water back to the store, have them retest it, but test your total dissolved solids in your pool water. It's called TDS. If your TDS is too high, then again, your chlorine's not. We don't talk about TDS very often on here, but we'll talk about that today. If your TDS is too high, it's different than your salt level. TDS stands for total dissolved solids. Everything you put in your pool becomes a dissolved solid.
Right.
When the water gets so saturated, it's ineffective what it's trying to accomplish. So what I would do, Debbie, is get a combo brush. It's going to run you about $20 for a combo brush, and I guarantee you that algae will broom off the pool wall. And if your TDS is too high, you're going to have to pray for some rain to dilute the pool water down so the chemicals are more effective. But if you want to try the easy way out, combo brush, couple more bags of shock, let the pool run 24 hours a day, broom the walls, and it should be gone. Clean the filter and start over with a fresh system again. That is my recommendation without seeing your pool. But I appreciate your call very much. And
thank you.
You're very welcome. Hope you have a great weekend. We're going to go to break already.
Yeah, what's that contact information if I wanted to become a customer of the Pool Fanatic Pool Service Company?
Well,
what would I do?
Here's a customer. I go to see a customer on Thursday. He goes, because we just built his pool. It said pool service. He goes, I am a TC Water Feature Pool Fanatic man. 407-282-4911. Visit us at tcwaterfeatures.com. Like us on Facebook, where I promise you amazing things can happen in your backyard.
They certainly do, and not just pools and fountains and that. You can get a batting cage from Tony. You can get a bocce court. You can get an outdoor fireplace. You can get an outdoor kitchen, big screen TVs flying around. It's all out there. That's right. You can even maybe take a trip out there and look at it with Tony. I don't know. 844-220-0965, 844-220-0965. We'll be back right after the news. Hey, we are back, and don't forget who is watching the children. Keep your eye on those little ones because summertime, they are everywhere. And if you're every time you're driving down a neighborhood street, watch out. Some kids may just dart out between cars. getting that soccer ball or whatever it is, you got to be careful. 844-220-0965, 844-220-0965. Text 21232, 21232. We got, we have a celebrity calling in.
Uh-oh.
Yes, we do.
Well, let's see here. Is he probably about 5 hours behind our time?
Really?
He's probably somewhere over in the UK. I would think that's where he's at. But I haven't talked to my friend in a while. But what I do see, and I love this, is he is posting pictures that were down in the 40s compared to where they are today. I've showed you a few of those, and I'm pretty sure.
I've got a bunch on my Facebook.
Sure, you see quite a few of those.
But
and,
you know what else is happening?
What's that?
He's mentioned several times that even over in all the countries they've been to, Czechoslovakia and all those places, he just picks up his phone and monitors his pool.
Isn't that amazing?
How fantastic is that?
Can we talk to the gentleman on the phone there, Chris? Would you pipe him through and let's see how the world traveler friend of mine is doing? Hello, Cosmo. How are you?
Hey guys, finally you're back, and I'm able to call.
And tell us where you're at today.
I am in a city called Aarhus, which is way up in northern Denmark.
Oh, you're in Denmark, huh?
God.
Yes.
So, what's the weather like in Denmark today, my friend?
Well, it is about 11:30, and the sun is just setting, so it's kind of the land of the midnight sun, nearly.
There you go.
It's today was in the mid 60s, and tonight it's in the upper 40s, but it's beautiful.
So, did you have a show tonight?
No, tonight was off. Tomorrow is our show here, and then we head down to Dusseldorf.
Dusseldorf. That reminds me of a dessert. Is that right? Dusseldorf.
Well, I always like Dusseldorf because that's where Colonel Hogan used to go for with I think what was his name, Tilda.
Couple of things, Cosmo. One is I want to personally thank you and everybody else that's on your Facebook list because you're showing us things we'll never see in our lifetime. Beautiful, beautiful buildings.
I try to share. I do try to share.
Everybody thinks the United States is really an old country. We're babies compared to those countries.
Well, I showed some of your pictures. I showed some of your pictures to a friend of mine that lived in Germany for a while. We'll do some of the Germany pictures for a second. And the train station photograph that you showed from 1940, probably 40 or 39, 40, somewhere in there. And then where it is
1939,
yeah. So that was a guesstimation. I'm thinking it was still there in 39, but the devastation that went through to where the train station is today. And you'd kind of do that. You didn't do that with the Big Ben in 1940, but you sent the Big Ben over. So, but I like the fact that you take history from where it was just even 70 years ago, actually in this case 76 years ago, to where it is today. So, question for you, are you enjoying any of the swimming pools and any of the accommodations that you visit, or you kind of stay away from knowing them, they don't have the Totally Hayward system going on?
Well, that is a negative when they don't have the Totally Hayward system, but I did stay at a hotel in Leipzig, and they had a nice indoor swimming pool, but it wasn't near as great as mine.
Well, of course not. Now, the company that built your pool must have done a great job on that because you're obviously enjoying that and the technology. Now, you've been gone for maybe 2 months. You've been gone about 2 months.
I've been about 6 weeks. Yeah, about a month and a half, a month and a half.
In the 6 weeks, what's happened to your pool that was brought to your attention while you were gone on these roughly 6 weeks or so? What's your cistern monitoring telling you that it's doing or not doing?
Well, it's keeping me up with the pH and the chlorine levels, the salt levels, and I don't check it every morning, but I check it at least a couple of times a week. How
about emails? You getting any updated emails?
Oh yeah, definitely. I get emails anytime that it's funny, even if it's a little bit off, like especially when it starts in the morning before everything cycles through. I get an email saying that it's off. It comes back and says it's been cleared and it's all good automatically.
Right. So what happens is it balances and checks itself is what it's doing. So when you might periodically maybe get a low flow alarm. And that's basically the pumps priming up for that first 3 minutes. You might get a low flow, but it'll clear itself. Or you can get a high pH, but what happened is in that first couple of minutes, it hasn't gone through the system to go to the probes to tell the probes to kick the pH, the injector on because you had high rain the night before. I got a question: how's your weather been? Because here we had roughly 2.5, 3 inches of rain this past week. And we do have some dilution in your water. Are you getting a lot of rain while you're out and touring over in Europe? Yeah, well,
a lot of rain comes through. Obviously, when the tropical storm came through, and once again, the system I have, it takes. I love the autofill system. I mean, it either adds the water when it evaporates, or in this case, it it siphons it off without me having to worry about the pool overflowing, and I love that.
So this is the autofill overflow. So I just did a walkthrough on Thursday with a customer, and I have an autofill overflow, and he asked me, "Is it working? Water looks a little high in the pool," and I said, "It's absolutely working." So what we do, we set to actually fill the pool to the center line of the tile line. That's the first thing we do. But we don't set the overflow to drain it back down to the center line of the pool. And here's the reason why. If I was to do that, if I was to set the fillets at the center line of the skimmer and the overflow at the center line of the skimmer, every time you swam, water would go out the overflow.
Good point.
Aha.
Didn't
Okay.
think of that.
So as Cosmo's out there doing cannonballs in his pool and the water starts to wake, you like that, huh?
No splash diving.
So as the water's taking a wake, it's not going to discharge the water out the overflow. So that's why we set them 1 inch higher than operating level. So when the customer goes, "Wow, that's pretty cool," the water's 2 inches down at the top of the tile, 1 inch above normal operating level, and there you go. So, Cosmo, while you're on the phone, and I know you can monitor this, but I want to let people know that we are going into the rainy season. Okay, so on the salt system side of your pool, it is absolutely imperative, as we started rainy season this week, is to keep the salt level at about 3,400 and keep the stabilizer level no more than about 80. And here's the reason why. It can only get diluted by rain. It'll never go higher. So you have the beauty of checking that on your app. Is my salt level here or is my salt level here? You cannot check stabilizer, but as the salt level is diluted, so is the stabilizer level. It's diluted as well. So by doing that, you need to have them charged all the way up. And then the next thing is alkalinity. You've got to keep the alkalinity on the high side because all it can do is drift down again. So, Cosmos, when are you coming back?
I will be back a week from tomorrow.
A week from tomorrow. Love to get together and catch up on some old times. I do have a caller on the phone. I actually got a couple callers on the phone now. The phones are going bonsai. So I hope you have an amazing evening. I'd love to see you when you get back. We'll talk more. Maybe get you on the show here in a week or so. We can talk about all this cool stuff again.
We definitely will. I'll be home in a week, and I'm home for several weeks, and I will definitely get together with you, and I'd love to be on the show with you.
Let's do it. Have a wonderful evening. We'll talk to you very soon.
All
Thanks,
right.
guys. Take care.
Bye now.
See you later, Cos. All right, let's get Shannon on the line. Shannon, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
What's going on with your pool?
I bought a house. It's a full closure. The pool is 35 feet by 16 feet. It holds about 24,000 gallons of water.
Okay.
And I'm trying to clear it up, and I put 2 pounds of yellow gone in the pool along with 5 gallons of chlorine. So now it's just kind of a light color. It's just a little cloudy. But my question is, I don't think the filter is filtering as well as it can. Would it hurt to put a little DE into the filter to help it along maybe
Well, you got to be careful putting DE in a cartridge-style filter. So here's a couple questions. First off, you didn't put enough product in your pool. I think you said yellow treat or yellow material like?
Yellow gone 2 pounds.
Was that 2 pounds going to treat 24,000 gallons of water? I think the max it would have treated was 20.
I think you're correct.
Okay,
yes.
And the 5 gallons of liquid chlorine would only treat 20,000 again, so you're 4,000 gallons shy. So let's do it this way. I'm not saying you didn't put enough product in your pool. Go out there, clean your filter, okay?
Okay.
On the top of that filter, you have a pressure gauge. When that filter is clean, please look at the pressure gauge. What's that needle on? Is it on 10 pounds, 11, 12, whatever it may be? And as the system gets dirtier, that pressure gauge is going to go up on your gauge. When it gets 3 or 4 or 5 pounds up, it's time to clean it, in my opinion. They like to see 10 pounds, but the reduction in water flow is true dramatic. So if I wanted to add DE powder to my cartridge filter, you have a cartridge filter?
That's correct.
All right. So if you happen to have some DE, go to your skimmer, pull the lid off, take maybe a Solo cup if you've got one or something equivalent to that. Sorry to be brand specific, but I like Solo cup. It's nice and durable. Take a scoop. Do not dump that whole scoop in the skimmer at one time. Just kind of sprinkle it over the surface, and as it starts to dissolve back. Because what's going to happen if you dump it in there, it's going to go to one part of the filter and be done.
Okay.
You want to kind of let it wash its way in. About a cup full would be cool, maybe a cup and a half, and then when the pressure goes up, clean the filter again. Brush your pool, extend your run time. extend the runtime on the filter. Let's get this pool filtered out. Let's get it cleaned up and brush it. A good broom.
And then balance it, correct? And then balance with all the other.
Well, I always tell people before I do anything in my pool, I am going to adjust the pH in my pool correctly before I start, because the liquid chlorine that you put in your pool has a pH of 10.8. Okay, so that's automatically going to jack my chlorine up. But when it dissolves, or dissipates, it's going to go back to the pH level it was initially. So I want to make that pH adjustment first. Make sure my alkalinity is good, then add my product to the pool. But definitely, Shannon, brush the pool, extend the run cycle times, clean the filter. You might have to clean the filter 2 or 3 times to get it to cycle out. And then you got to ask yourself a question: how did I get it originally? How did I get the algae originally?
Oh boy, yeah.
So, but preventive maintenance, we got to stay on top of preventive maintenance. Do not maintain your pool the day you want to swim. Work your way back. I realize workloads are hard to get it done, but we have a pool service, the Pool Fanatic Pool Service. We do an amazing job, and we're going to treat your pool as if it was ours. So if you have any questions next week, Shannon, give us a call back, but I believe you will find that's going to solve your problem. We got a break to go to again?
Yeah, what phone number should they use?
Well, if they pick up the phone, because I made a joke the other day. I said that on the rotary phone, you would do the 4 and then the 0 and then the 7. I'm kind of down as it would go, 282-4911. The website is tcwaterfeatures.com. Like us on Facebook, because I tell you what you will find out is amazing things can happen in your backyard by amazing group of people, and that's the people at TC Water Features and the Pool Fanatic Pool Service.
There you have it. Doesn't get any better than that. 844-220-0965, 844-220-0965. Text us 21232. And we've got Steve coming up over in Doc Phillips. We'll be back. Hey, welcome back. That's right. It's the Pool Fanatic, and this is Tony Caruso. He is the Pool Fanatic, and he's on the air every single Saturday, and that, that's high water with everything. Your pool ought to be beautiful, and helping you keep it that way is the Pool Fanatic Pool Service Company. Here's Steve and Dr. Phillips. What's up?
Hey, guys. Love the show here almost every week. Hey, I have a Aquarite Pro salt generator system.
Okay.
Brought my salt cell into the local pool shop. They say it looks fine. I call Hayward. They say I need to reprogram the board. And then I give them the model number of the cell, and they say, oh, it's too old. It's out of date. It's 8 years old. I guess those those run out after some period of time. I guess and do those boards need to be reprogrammed or reset? Because what I'm inclined to do is just go buy a new salt cell, plug it in. But then I'm worried about, is it a $400 salt cell, or does it turn into a $1,000 plus replacement of the whole system?
No. You don't have to reprogram the board. And here's where they were telling you. If you didn't buy, I don't know if you have a T-Cell 15, 9, or 3. I don't know which one you have. But let's say you have a T-Cell 15. You took a T-Cell 15 out. You put a T-Cell 15 back in. You don't have to reprogram anything because it already knows that it's a 15. Now, if you have an 8-year-old cell, what happens is these cells can only make so many pounds of chlorine in a duration of a life cycle. So that's why I always put T-Cell 15s on all pools after 10,000, 15, 20. Give you some extra years out of it. So do not buy your salt replacement cell online. You only get a 1-year warranty with it. If you buy a salt cell from me, I'll give you a 3-year warranty on it. You're going to pay $100 more from me because I'm going to buy you the builder grade cell, and you're going to buy the off market version, which is not going to give you the same warranty. You want to buy it from, I'll sell you one, or you can buy one from the retail store. But and you should always be a T-Cell 15. You should get 5 to 7 years out of a good cell if you take care of it and clean it. Now, a question: you don't have the pH injector to go with that Aquarite Pro, is that correct?
I do not.
Think about this: when you took your cell apart and cleaned it, was it corroded inside?
Didn't appear to be, no.
Okay, well that's a good thing because your pH stays on the lower side. It'll stop the scale from building up, and that's what the pH injector does. It keeps the pH in your pool in perfect balance as it's making chlorine, because you are making high pH chlorine. We got to bring that back down again. But that's exactly what I would do. I would definitely not buy it online because you won't get the same warranty. You won't get the same type cell. but buy it from a retailer or give us a call. We're in Dr. Phillips all the time. We'll run one out there, put one in. I'll program it for you, and you should be good to go. But thank you very much for being a listener. You know, I do this because of people do listen. And DBO or Cox came in my office on Wednesday, went over some numbers, and I'm very, very pleased with the numbers of listeners that we have that listen to the show. I try to put a good show on. This show was totally unscripted. I don't script anything before I come in here. You see my notes. What I have my cell phone. I didn't even look at it. I've got my earphones, and that's all I do. Okay, so now we're definitely in the hot part of the season. For the next 4 months, your water is going to be in the 80s, upper 80s, low 90s, and those people that have the black finishes might even hit 100. Now, you need to start paying attention to phosphates being added to your tap water via the city water supply. Some areas are going to be a little bit higher, so if you're fighting frustration from what appears to be algae in your pool, it's phosphates growing. And one forest phosphate today is 2 tomorrow, 4 the next day, 16, 256, and on and on and on and on. So you want to make sure that you periodically have your phosphate level checked in the retail store. If you have the Pool Fanatic pool service, we test it for you anyway, monthly. That's included in the service. If you have phosphates in your pool, we treat that as well. We treat your pool as if it was ours, and here's why. So if your salt level in your pool, we serviced your pool last week, Rob. It was 3,200. I'm not coming out next week and putting a 40-pound bag in your pool. But the minute it drops to about 3,000, I'm going to jack it back up to about 3,400. I'm going to raise that stabilizer back up because, remember, they only went away through dilution. As it rained, it got diluted. Yeah. So the higher the salt level in the ranges they belong in, the less your salt system has to work. For those of you on chlorine tablets, you are now into shocking your pool every other week or even greater depending on your bather load, like the reunion you went to, Rob. If all of those people were in the swimming pool at one time, I would always suggest shock the pool a day or two before, and definitely when you're done, because that chlorine level is going to go away very, very quickly. So what I haven't talked about in a long time is the company itself. Yes. You know, we are a true family business. Between my wife, myself, my 2 sons, my daughter-in-law, and my 3 brothers, the business wouldn't be what it is today. Wow. So when you actually talk about a true family business, that's what we do. We are a family business. That's why I can tell you we will treat your pool as if it was ours. When we build swimming pools, I'm building a new pool right now out here in Apopka. The guy loves it. We're on time. We're on the spot. I already got 2 referrals from him. 2 referrals, and I'm not done yet. So, but staying on top of your customers, answering their questions, returning their phone calls, giving them exactly what you sold them, not going back and say, oh, I forgot to put dewatering in your pool. Oh, I forgot to add this, or I forgot to put that in. I see it all the time, Rob. See it all the time. And the customer's going, man, that's killing me. 407-282-4911. Visit us at TC Water Features. Like us on Facebook. Everybody have an amazing rest of the week. Next week.